Google just added a hidden display feature to Pixel phones that might actually make a bigger difference than most flashy AI tools we've seen this year. And the weird part? Samsung and Apple still don't really have anything quite like it. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. It really helps me keep bringing you more tech breakdowns like this one. It's called Comfort View, and once you turn it on, your entire screen changes instantly. Colors become softer, less aggressive, and surprisingly easier on your eyes. It sounds simple, but for anyone staring at their phone for hours every day, this could end up being one of the most useful Pixel features Google has added in a long time. What makes this interesting is that Pixel displays are already some of the best in the smartphone world. The Pixel 10 Pro models can hit around 3,300 nits of brightness, which is honestly insane for a phone display. They're sharp, vibrant, fast, and incredibly colorful. But that's also the problem for some people. Modern OLED screens can feel way too intense, especially at night or in dark rooms. Google seems to finally understand that not everyone wants maximum saturation blasting into their eyes all the time. So now, inside the Settings menu, under something called Comfort Filters, there's a new option called Comfort View. Instead of using the normal RGB color profile, it shifts the display into softer pastel tones. Reds become calmer, blues look cooler, and the entire screen feels more relaxed. And this is separate from nightlight. That's important because nightlight mainly reduces blue light and warms up the display. Comfort View is different. It changes the character of the colors themselves. You can even run both modes together if you want the full eye comfort setup. What's also interesting is that Google isn't calling this an accessibility feature. They're positioning it more as a comfort and aesthetic option. But honestly, there are a lot of people who struggle with aggressive OLED displays, even if they don't officially fall under accessibility categories. Some users complain about eye fatigue, headaches, or discomfort after long sessions on bright OLED panels. And while companies love competing over brightness numbers and super vivid colors, very few are talking about how exhausting those displays can become after hours of scrolling. That's why this feature matters more than it first appears. And Google has quietly been moving in this direction for a while now. Earlier, the company introduced a feature called Sensitive Eyes with the Pixel 10 lineup. Apple added Display Pulse Smoothing on the iPhone 17 series to help with display comfort. But Samsung still gets criticized for lagging behind on proper PWM dimming improvements, which a lot of sensitive users care about. Comfort View feels like Google taking another step toward making smartphone screens feel better instead of just looking more impressive in advertisements. Turning it on is actually really simple. If your Pixel is running the April Android 16 build or newer, you just go into Settings, tap Display and Touch, then open Comfort Filters. From there, you can enable Comfort View immediately. There's also a dynamic option enabled by default, but if you turn that off, you can manually control the strength slider yourself. So if you want only a subtle effect, you can dial it down. If you want maximum softness at night, you can crank it up. And honestly, the reaction from early users has been surprisingly positive. One reviewer admitted they ignored the feature for a while on the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, then finally tried it while working late at night. Within minutes, they noticed their eyes felt less strained. That's a pretty strong first impression for something buried deep inside display settings. Of course, not everyone will love the look immediately. Some people might think the colors appear slightly washed out compared to the punchy default mode. And if you're someone who loves ultra-saturated displays, you may switch back quickly. But that's kind of the beauty of this feature. It's optional. Google isn't forcing it, they're just giving users another way to experience their screens. And honestly, this says something bigger about where smartphone innovation is heading. For years, phone companies have focused almost entirely on specs you can market easily. Brighter screens, faster chips, stronger AI, more megapixels. But some of the best features are the small quality of life improvements you notice after using a device every day. Comfort View is exactly that kind of feature. It's not flashy enough for a keynote presentation, it probably won't sell millions of phones by itself, but if it genuinely reduces eye strain during late-night scrolling, reading, or watching videos, people will end up appreciating it more than half the AI features announced this year. And honestly, it's surprising Apple and Samsung haven't already done something similar. If you own a recent Pixel phone, this is probably worth testing tonight, especially if you spend hours doom scrolling in bed and your eyes feel destroyed afterwards. Sometimes the most important upgrades aren't the loudest ones. They're the quiet little settings hidden in the menu that suddenly make your phone feel better to use every day. What's your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section. See you in the next video. Take care.